Hi, I'm Jeff Flateau, the Cookie Man. I've been in the food business for over 30 years, and one thing I can tell you for certain, you never know what's coming around the bend. While it's the food that may have brought you to our show, it's the people and their stories that'll keep you coming back for more. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Welcome to another episode of That's the Way the Cookie Crumbles. I'm here with good friends of mine who have a fantastic store in Hattiesburg, Jennifer and Kennard McKay. And I want to say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, and did I get the name right?
No. You did.
So we want to get started, and my first question for you guys is, where did y'all meet?
Do you want the short version or the long version?
I want the middle version, the semi-short,
We met in Jackson at the airport of all places.
high school, college.
No.
This was post-college,
No, this is post.
or in the middle of college for me. So we picked her up and went out to do the Jackson thing in our young 20s, which was pretty fun.
Yeah.
About a month later, we started dating.
Yeah,
Well, it looks like it's worked out.
yeah.
Well, we're still together.
Hey, it's one thing. It's one thing to have a marriage or a relationship. It's another to have a marriage and a business and work together every day.
That's true.
That, my friends, is a challenge, and so my hat's off to you. I've tried it and succeeded for a while, but it's tough, and so bravo. Early life experiences. So, what did you do?
I've been in the restaurant business, front of the house most of the time, since my teens, working, just waiting tables and doing things. We did, what point did we go to culinary school? It was 3 or 4 years
That was our early
after.
midlife crisis. When
Culinary school was.
We
And where
took
was
it-
that? Where'd you
So
go?
We went to
New England. New England Culinary Institute up in Montpelier, Vermont.
And how long?
It was a 2-year program.
Really?
We did a 6-month and then intern for 6 months and then another 6 month in the classrooms. It was very difficult.
It was grueling.
It was a great experience. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. And anyway, it was just a great way of beginning. We were going to do a wine and cheese shop or move to the West or do something like a boutique, maybe even a bed and breakfast. The more we learned about bed and breakfast, the 70% failure rate or even higher. We kind of backed away from that, and then, but I still maintain the restaurant business. We ended up moving back to Hattiesburg, helped Tom White open 206 Front here locally. He had already done it all. I just kind of came in and helped tweaked a little bit on the menu with him, and then I became front of the house manager there for the first year, and then that was about the end of my culinary career after about 25 years of doing that. But
I remember eating there, and you were out front, and you did an excellent job of talking to people and making them feel at home. And that's something sometimes is missing. You see in a lot of places that don't make it, that don't have that relationship with the people who run or own the restaurant and the people that are coming in, and people want that. Usually.
I do like that. I do like that, just one-on-one, and I like helping and making people happy. That's just kind of what I'm geared at my core. It was shortly after leaving that, she had this idea of doing a retail store, which I had no idea of doing.
Yeah, because you're not going to learn that at the Culinary Institute about a retail store.
No.
And I didn't.
And
Anyway.
zero experience of either of us for being in retail.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried several people that we knew, Minneapolis and in Atlanta and just around, that had great templates. And even in Jackson, the Everyday Gourmet was a great store back in the day. But we attempted to get people to sell us a business plan or to help us franchise or give us some instructions, and nobody really wanted to do that, which I understand 100% now. And after several months of thinking about that, we pulled the trigger and just decided we would rather jump in and give this a go. We were in, I think, 40, maybe even late 30s.
It was 90. I mean, it was 2003 that we opened. So.
Well, 50. Yeah, I was
Do the
45,
math.
44. But anyway.
So you're 18 years, almost 18
We're
years
almost
in
at-
business. Yeah.
Mhm. This fall will be 18 years. But it was, make or break. We just decided we would go for it, and it was really just
Crazy.
The first 3 years were great, excellent growth. You couldn't have asked for much more. and then Katrina hit. That was
So you were in business how long then?
3 years.
3 years.
Well, that was
Two.
05, so 2 years.
About 2 years, and we thought, okay.
So you were
it's-
fresh,
we're-
young in
we,
business.
and we thought we were done.
Yeah. You weren't alone. Yeah.
Oh, right, absolutely. You just had no idea, but it turned out to be the best year we've ever had.
So you were closed, of course,
About
right after the
6
debacle
weeks.
of.
6 weeks, I think, 5 weeks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody lost everything, they had to replace it. So we became psychologists to hear everybody's story.
Yeah.
And share our own, of course.
By the way, can I get you a coffee maker?
Right. That's pretty much
I've got
it.
a coffee maker on sale here for you and some
'Cause
pots and pans. Yeah.
Everybody had moved up from the coast and they needed
Yeah.
to replenish, and
Everybody did have a story though too. Everybody wanted to
It was
tell their
amazing.
story,
Yeah.
including us, and we had some experiences. And
Well, I think now you're running into the COVID where that'll be the same thing. People have their stories to tell about the COVID experience, and you will too. And you're surviving that, obviously, because you're open. And
it was almost identical. It was
Yeah.
5 weeks closed.
Yep.
Opened back up, wondering how in the world are you going to get through the year, and it was comparable to the year of Katrina.
No, I think what's important for everybody out there that doesn't own a business or is thinking about getting in business is this happens to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And even times when it's not a natural disaster, you run into problems that are huge and you have to overcome them. Obviously, if you've been in business 17, 18 years, you've hit those hurdles. And
Recessions.
Recessions. Yeah, the economy ebbs and flows, and you
Yeah,
have to ebb and flow with it,
political.
or you're political, you're out. So obviously, you guys have a recipe for success.
Well, it's also, I think it's about making sure that your customers feel comfortable with you, and we wouldn't be here without our customers, obviously. It's not just us doing it. They have to be there to support us.
a lot of people want us to be here, and that makes it's very nice. It's rewarding at the very least. But
Well, like I said, when I first really started to know you, that's when I met you. I think it was at the restaurant, or maybe before, but that's what I remember my first experience with you. And you were good out front with people, and people want to have a friend that they come in and do business with.
I think you have to care, to be successful.
Genuinely.
You have to be, yeah.
Well, you got customers with different wants, different needs. They have different socioeconomic levels.
Absolutely.
You have to service all of those to be successful. You can't just go with the people who have a lot of money or people who have some money. You have to go after every customer that you can get and offer that service.
Yeah.
And you're an upscale shop.
Well, we have
But their
there's a big range, but I have a fun story that's a perfect example of that. After Katrina, we had we were open on Sundays, and this lady came in, and we'd never met her before, and she said, I stopped by here not long ago, and well, I was shopping at, should I even say another
No,
company?
just another big
I was
box
shopping
store.
at so-and-so's
Yeah.
today, and I got so tired of asking people where things were, and nobody could help me, and I just left my cart in the middle of the store, and I left and came back over to your store. She ended up being our number one salesperson, number one customer for the year. It was just
probably today.
phenomenal. But she said it was because y'all talked to me and y'all tried to make things right and gave me answers and whatever. She remembered it and
Yeah.
dropped the big box store and came to support local.
Well, you
was
lose
great.
the
So-
personal service when you go to a bigger store. It's just a natural flow of things in business.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. It's just like big government agencies or big companies. You lose that personalization that you're going to get here in a
Yeah.
place like this. And then you've got quality. What I was saying earlier, you've got quality items that they may cost you more up front, but it's going to last you almost forever if you buy a
Absolutely.
good quality item. People have to remember that when they're shopping. It may cost a little more, but it's going to be better
Right.
in the long run.
Once for 10 years or 5 times for 2.
It adds,
that
yeah,
kind
5
of
times
thing.
for 2, it costs you more.
Right.
If you can afford it, it's better to do. Well, we've talked about pitfalls and some of the successes. So what do you like about your business? What drives you every day to come in and how do you reinvigorate? Do you take a lot of trips, or do you do you
Yeah,
do you
I don't
get
know
away
that,
or
I don't know that we're inspired every day. I'll
Right.
be honest about that. You get worn out in this world, just like in the restaurant world, but or any business, I guess. We just try to make it fun. we love our staff, we love our customers, we do like nice things, we do cooking classes, so that kind of throws a little different momentum into the game. And
So the cooking
what drives
classes,
us.
you still do those, right?
We do.
Yeah.
Well-
With COVID, it's been very limited.
Yeah.
Our class sizes are very small, kitchen's small, so you have to make sure you can space people out.
Yeah. So what is your advice for somebody young, old, doesn't even matter what age, about getting into business, not just your business, but business in general? What do you need to succeed? Not necessarily going, off to school,
Right.
education, but what do you need to succeed if you start a business today, in today's world?
Perseverance,
Yeah.
and it will pay off if you put your love and effort into it.
It's not hard when you put your neck on the line and your money's into it, and you don't really have an option. So that's a good.
Yeah, it's not somebody else's money. If it's your money, you pay attention to it
Exactly.
a little
You
bit
know,
closer.
Towards the end of my restaurant career, I learned that I didn't really like taking orders from other people. I'd rather just do it myself. And we've gone through, in 18 years, we've gone through a period of where we've had as many as 6 employees. Managing people is not easy. Managing people is probably the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. And I'm not good at it because I'm soft. But you get one good employee and you're there to pick up the rest. And I like to do whatever anybody else doesn't want to do. But I'd rather not do anything and have everybody do everything else if they would do it right. But it's
Yeah.
not the way it works.
It's hard.
If you're the
yeah.
owner of a business, you have to be there. I've learned that the hard way, the long way, and come back full circle, and been back here 6 days a week for the last year and a half with just one employee.
So what characteristic do you think is most important dealing with people, dealing with your help?
The old saying of the customer's always right is the standard. I have a little bit of liberations to it. There are, it's just not always the case, but it is most of the time the case.
Yeah. What do y'all think about dealing with your employees? Do you need firmness more or patience?
Patience.
Both.
We see he needs more patience
Yeah,
than you.
well, and it depends on the person. I think the important part about finding the right group of people working together, it's all about a chemistry.
When you're busy and the phone's ringing and you got customers, and then you see somebody doing something that you really not exactly the way you want it done, I think that's what comes to mind for me, and patience, because I'll lose my patience sometimes. I'm like, we can't do that. We have to do it this way,
Right.
But you got to do it in a subtle way that it doesn't embarrass your employee, and it gets the point across, and that you cultivate that what you're talking about,
Right.
that relationship with your employees. That when you're not here, then they can go out and help. Because I know your people that work here are very good, and that so
We've been very blessed.
Yeah, you've got
very
your
blessed.
clientele comes in, and you don't have to be here. They like it, but you're taken care of, and that's important. Did you ever, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, or you don't have to go into detail, did you ever get to the point where it was really, really bad in your business, where you thought, I don't know if we're going to make it, I don't know if I want to make it, did you ever get to that point, besides the hurricane or the COVID, and just in a general business sense?
I think we kind of question ourselves often about that. What is it?
Over
What is it going to take to keep moving along when you do kind of hit those slumps? Sometimes you see them coming, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
And so
Learning how to reinvent, I think, oneself in any situation is always good, and we've probably done that a few times. Things change, and then there was there was initially a period of good growth, and then there was no growth for several years.
Yeah.
And that changed after about 7-8 years, and it's just you just do different things. You
Well,
keep
with the
on doing
punches.
something different until it works. Is what I'm kind of getting at.
well, it's part of that trying to have fun with it.
Right.
Keeping
Again.
it fun and then reinventing yourself along the way, I think, is always a key thing. That's what I'm trying to say, I think.
There, like I said earlier, I didn't say, but there's cheaper stores with cheaper goods, and
Sure.
that's fine. And everybody has a need, a place in the economy. But you've got a different. Your store is much different. You're in a different little niche in a different market, and you don't have a whole lot of competition here as far as stores that are like you, do you? I mean,
Not really. I mean, we do have some lines that are overlapped with other stores in town, and
what are your plans for the future? Do you have, is there
early
any-
retirement.
Early-
I don't know how that will happen.
Yeah.
Every year's a new year. I'm still a little shocked we made it 15 years, now looking at 20. And
Mhm.
Well, initially, jumping back to the beginning, we had thoughts and dreams and hopes of having a second store and maybe a third store. And then moving down that path, but we didn't have a formal plan. Katrina hit, and then the economy crashed.
Yeah.
In '07, 2 years later. But that kind
And a
of
child.
And then
Yeah.
That you have to
Anyway, it's been a fun adventure, but that is not where we're going, and probably we wouldn't have made it. We would have overextended ourselves. Future is just, that's still an option. There have been other towns that have asked us to do another store in them in the southeast area, and it's a tempting thought, but it gets back to managing people, and that's not one of my focuses nor dreams.
So one other thing I wanted to let everybody know, where you get your wares from. Where do you go to buy? You know, since you don't look at a catalog, you have to go to market. What markets do you do? Which one works best for you? Maybe elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, we go to Atlanta. It's kind of hard to navigate, but it can be fun.
Yeah,
too.
most of our stuff is on only about 8 floors, and we'll go into the high design or into the temporaries where we see you a lot.
Yeah.
And, you find new things, people that are trying their format, and that's what's fun. I love to have some different toffee and lactose fine foods, all the snaps and such. Our theory was if I would buy it, I can sell it. And that used to work, but it kind of stopped working along the way.
Yeah, well,
We got a lot of stuff
I
at
had to
home
stop
now.
doing that or falling back on that idea a long time ago. But
well, that's part of the process of learning. You know sometimes your tastes don't always
Oh yeah.
match up with everyone else's. I know that's the case for me.
Well, and also, there was a saying that something's introduced in Europe and it takes X amount of time to get to New
5
York,
years.
and then it takes X amount of time to get to the
Mississippi.
United States, and then it gets X amount of time to get to Mississippi.
Right, yeah.
So an example of that was 2 years into the store being open, we carried silicone cookware. We couldn't sell it on sale to save ourselves.
And it costs you a
And
lot of
so
money in
we just
inventory,
finally
I'm
got
sure.
rid of it.
Look,
And we only had a little bit, but still, people just didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, who knows who supported it on Food Network or whatever it was, people came in and said, I cannot believe you don't have silicone cookware here. I thought, well,
We
that's
had
about
it.
4 years ago we did.
We were ahead of the times there.
Yeah, so it's things like that. You have to educate the customer, and things that are new are not always the best things for people. You just have to kind of roll with it. But in addition to Atlanta market, we go to Chicago for the housewares market, and that's more extensive representation of the lines that we carry, like cookware and that kind of thing. Because in Atlanta, you just have kind of just a piecemeal display.
Yeah.
And in Chicago, you have everything.
Detailed.
Every color, every size, everything.
Tell everybody what you sell here, because they may not know. Just kind of a brief synopsis of what you guys offer.
Where do you start?
Well, cookware, in the beginning we carried Viking cookware, just high quality stainless steel cookware. It was made in Belgium. They kind of lost their footing in the business, but now we carry De Meyer. It's the same company that made the product for them, and it's a 7-ply, heavy gauge, good quality. It's expensive, but it's going to last you generations. Different cookware: Le Creuset, stove, Lodge cast iron. We just recently brought in an American-made
Heritage Steel.
cookware line made in Cookeville, Tennessee, and it's a phenomenal price point and good quality product. Hinkle's knives and Wusthof. We sell all kind of kitchen gadgets, Roslow, WMF, and
Bakeware. Cookie cutters.
Vitamix.
Vitamix is one of the best products in the store.
Blenders. You have all the things you need. Coffee makers.
Coffee
We
makers
do
from
Jura
Jura.
Espresso, yeah, they're just phenomenal. These super automatic machines. Become your own barista, and I can show you how to do that. And it's again a pricier item. I've had several of them, and they're just phenomenal machines.
We travel with it.
Yeah.
We put it in the back of the car and
That's
take
your
it
luggage.
with us.
That's your carry-on
It
bag,
is.
right? Yeah.
It is.
Well, so
That's the
you've
kitchen
got
side, and then we have a tabletop side.
tabletop.
Yeah,
so what's the tabletop side consist of? So
Um,
China.
Yeah, predominantly pottery and stoneware, some ceramic, a little bit of china. We do glassware from Riedel and Schatzwiesel and
Simon
Simon
Pierce.
Pierce, which is
Phenomenal.
mouth blown in Vermont.
Flatware.
Artisan. Flatware from all of those lines. Vietri, Mepra, Reed and Barton.
That
Maybe.
was phenomenal.
I think the last time I checked, we have 126 vendors and about 10,000, 12,000 SKUs.
That's a lot.
It is.
You
Not
need a
necessarily
computer to
all
keep
in
up.
the store, but what's in the
Yeah.
in the
A good
system.
manager wouldn't let that happen.
Well, I mean, you know,
That'd
like
be
you
me.
say, you have to experiment some, and you may find something that hits and something that doesn't. But I mean, it's not going to kill you. But people want to come here and find something unique. They want to find the quality. I mean, you can come in here and buy for yourself. You can come in here and buy for wedding gifts or gifts of any kind. I think that this is a really good spot to come for that. You've got food items. You've got different coffees and,
Yeah.
and things like that.
Gift
that people, yeah,
baskets
and it's
corporate gifts.
let's just say it's not really what you find in the grocery. There items may be in some groceries,
Sure.
but this is going to be things that'll help you cook. So if you like watching the Food Network or recipe shows, then this is the place you need to come to get your accoutrements that'll make you more successful and have fun. But now, you know, with COVID, people stayed home and they cooked more, so I think they've gotten into it more. So this is a great place to come and explore and see, to keep that going, because you know, cooking fresh and cooking your own items, going to the grocery and picking up things is much better than buying frozen dinners and such. So
A lot more fun too.
a lot more fun, and you learn about it, and it's also healthier. So the benefits of buying something that may cost a little bit more to cook with really comes back to help you later. You'll save money, and you'll also be healthier, I think, is
Absolutely.
what my message is. I don't mean
Ab-
to take away from your advertisements,
No,
but
you're hired.
but yeah, so that's what I look at in a store, and this store has all that and more. So if you're ever in the area, come by, and you can come by in here, and you don't have to buy anything. You can come look, and Kennard will talk to you and entertain you, and then if you get
And
tired
give
of
you a
that,
cup of coffee.
she'll get you a cup of coffee, and she'll shoo him to the side. So, what last thoughts? What I know we kind of touched on it, but what's your advice for somebody getting into the food business, any kind of food business? What?
Don't do it.
We can't tell them that. No, look, you
have to be passionate about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you really do, because it's not easy, and it's long hours, and it's grueling on your body, and it takes a toll. But if your passion is there, you'll be fine. You just have to have your
passion and perseverance. I think what we got out of this
Yeah.
interview today from you guys on what people need to carry with them, and I think that goes in all businesses.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're
And
right.
be
this is-
honest. Stay honest to yourself, and stay honest to your customers.
Exactly. Yeah. Very good advice for that for anybody too. Well, look, I've enjoyed it. I know you're going to have more years of prosperity, and look forward to continuing our relationship and enjoy today immensely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a treat.
All right. What I was thinking.
It's a wrap.
Ramble.
We're
I
tr-
hate this. I hate being on this.
You
side
did
of the
good.
camera.
It was good. We did. This is the first time we've had 3 people, so it was new for us. So he'll edit all the bad things out. Don't worry. So
Please.
Scan pan. I should have said key things, but I couldn't get my
you-
brain there.